Well, hello, my friends. Thank you for joining us again today. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. And today we're looking forward here on this Monday of having another great week. Today I want to talk to you about the ministry of presence. Now, I first heard this from my brother-in-law, Chaplain William Bearfield. He came and preached for us there in Askevill one time, and he used that phrase, ministry of presence. Now, he was able to, in his work as a chaplain, to be with young soldiers as they went through many traumatic experience. And his take on this was where oftentimes that he can just go and be with someone, just to be there. You don't have to say a lot of things, but just your presence will be will minister to someone. Well, I was reading in the book of Job, and those of you that are familiar with scripture, and how in the book of Job, it's about a man who really suffered a lot. A few weeks ago, we talked about the different trials that come our way and some of the reasons, and one of those was an attack of Satan. And this is what happened to Job. He was attacked by Satan. And in chapter number 2, in the latter part, beginning verse number 11, Job had 3 friends that came to visit him. And now I want to just read it for you. Now, when Job's 3 friends heard all of this evil that had come upon him, they came each from his own place, Eliphaz and the Temite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. They made an appointment together to come show him sympathy and comfort him. They were, that's great. It's commendable that they would come to comfort this man that had lost all of his kids, lost all of his livestock, and basically lost everything he had. And so this was really nice of these 3 guys to come and show the ministry of presence to Job. Verse 12, and then when they saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him, and they raised their voices and wept, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads toward heaven. And they sat with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw his suffering was very great. So these men were on track. They were there to comfort and give strength to Job. But after 7 days, something happened. In chapter number 3, Job opens his mouth and begins to really question God, just like most of us would in such terrible times as he had. He wasn't accusing God, and that's a good thing. The scripture said in all of this, Job didn't accuse God with his lips. And so he wasn't accusing God, but he was questioning, just like all of us would when we have trials and difficulties that come in our life. And these men, instead of keeping their mouth shut and keeping their arms around him and comforting him and strengthening him, in chapter number 4, they opened their mouth. And now the whole book, basically, or at least most of the book, is a cycle of Job talking and these men responding and giving their viewpoint, basically telling Job that, you wouldn't be going through all of this if you hadn't sinned or done something wrong. So they started off right with this ministry of presence, but they opened their mouth. Now, let me say that there is a time to open your mouth and encourage someone in the Lord when they're going through things. But I believe that it is best, especially when people are going through very difficult trials in their life, is just being there with them, putting your arm around them, letting them know you love them, letting them know that you're praying for them. But you don't have to give them advice. There may be a time for advice. There may be a time to give instructions. But I really believe that the best way to help someone during times of crisis is just being there for them, giving them a shoulder to cry on, giving them a hand to hold, or just love on them. And I believe that is the ministry of presence. So I encourage you, the next time you see with someone that's going through a hard time, be there for them, love on them. You don't have to give them any great advice, but just love on them. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.